My name is Alicia, and if this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. So this one is going to be another one where I go off the top of my head. My honest, unfiltered thoughts on being recognized as a reverend in a few churches. I'm going to be really honest, it's kind of strange because I'm distant from religion right now. I really don't trust it. So when I first got my very first reverend certificate, I thought it was a joke. I was laughing. I was like, ha, you gotta be kidding me. But then when I got the second, third, fourth, fifth one, I'm like, come on, like, there's no way. I'm not gonna get into it, like the whole thing in this video, because it would be hours. But my earliest experiences with church really wasn't all that great. I went to a school that allowed a bullying culture to thrive, a mean, toxic culture to thrive. You know, you're black, you're stupid, stereotypes and all that. So from very early age, I really couldn't trust my own religion at the time. And I thought it was just unacceptable for people who call themselves to be religious and woke Christians and people of God to be acting like this. And some of the worst people I know are people who go to church on a regular basis. They say they're woke Christians, they're children of God, but yet they're some of the meanest, bullying people I know. And I'm not saying nobody's perfect, but I just really felt like all the time in school I wasn't very comfortable. And I was an altar server, used to watch priests do all kind of weird things. And the scandal that happened really made me not want to go back there anymore, because I'm like, man, that was ridiculous. To allow that to happen and just scoop shit under the rug and be like, oh, we're just gonna move them to another parish. No, they needed to be punished by the law and in jail, not moved away to another parish. Oh, my little thing is trying to blow away. But my priest at the time, I liked them as a dad, but I really couldn't trust them. And I felt like they were more into getting NBA tickets and into NFL tickets instead of addressing the hard things that were going on at the time. And while I have some good memories, I really don't have a lot of good memories. And I'm going to always be respectful of my friends and family members who are heavily religious, but I'm not really into it. I'm not really into organized religion. I've distanced myself from a lot of it. I've had people try to get me to join their churches, and I will visit, I will volunteer, I will be respectful, but it's not my thing. Not at all. So I do have a quote from one of my friends, Steve Bello. Religions are man-made to strike fear into people who feel they have no direction in life. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when I went on retreats in college and just went on retreats, you know, we had our little retreat high, we had the groups, but then I noticed, like, as time went on, you kind of go back to your old ways, your old cliques, and the religious high and the retreat high that they made you feel during retreats, it didn't last. I felt like people kind of went back to their old, you know, old white girl and old white boy cliques, you know, hey, you got your friends over here, you got your friends over here, and it was very cliquish. It was kind of hard to navigate if people really liked you or not, if they liked you for who you are, what you have. And I know on a couple occasions when I was retreat team leader and I went on retreats, I used to notice as soon as the retreat was over, people walked across the street and they act like they didn't know who you was. And you just hung out with them for a whole weekend. So I felt like I ran into a bunch of hypocritical people who would treat people mean or treat people a certain way Monday through Saturday, but then on Sunday they want to act like they're all that and they're all religious. And I will tell you, when I was in my church in school, they actually put me on a committee to welcome people in. And the reason why they said they put me on the committee was because I was so welcoming of people of all walks of life. And I'm like, that's not a gift, that's just treating people the way you want to be treated. But they said, yeah, you're very good at getting to know people. No, I'm not a cliquish person. I don't cut people up because of race, money, what I think they have. I get to know people as people. And a lot of people who decided not to be Catholic, I end up being friends with. I just have friends of all different backgrounds. I have friends who are atheists, Christian, Hindu, Islam, all over the place. I have friends who are Republicans, Democrats, don't affiliate with any party. The reason why I think I get along with a bunch of different people is because we agree to disagree. And I'm not going to try to make someone think the way I think. And I think the biggest thing that I kept coming across, I wasn't welcomed by my own church. They were trying to tell me, be welcoming, but you guys aren't welcoming. You're preaching the opposite message of what you're. Now, I do know a lot of good people in my former parish and that go to church, but some of the worst people I know call themselves God's child. I'm the wokish Christian, I had a friend who called herself, or still calls herself, a Christian, and she tried to do things to destroy my childhood. I know people with the worst road rage, and yet on Sunday, glory be to God in the highest, glory be to God. They put up an image in church and then act another way when they're out in the street. And nobody's perfect. I want to make that very clear. But I just feel like when I was in church, I was surrounded by hypocrites and people who were more interested in money and, the artificial things and superficial things than what was really important. And I understand churches are business. Churches are businesses. I understand churches are businesses and they need to pay bills and make money. But I also know too many situations where the minister was making all this money and there's people in the congregation that was suffering. And like I told you in my personal experience, he was more interested in tickets for sports games than addressing the hard things that were going on and the bad behavior of teachers and allowing teachers to have this clique culture. So some of my earliest experiences in church and some of my more recent experiences in church, at this point, I don't really trust it. I don't see myself ever going back to organized religion. I'm more of a spiritual person. I just want to do the right thing and treat people the way I want to be treated, but leave the organized religion out of it. So, to be honest, when they gave me the title of Reverend in the first church, I thought it was a joke. But then when they kept doing it, I'm like, do you really know who you're asking? I'm probably not the best person for this. You're not going to see me going around talking about Reverend Leisha or Reverend Silky Slick or any of that stuff. And some of my friends and some of my family members, but everybody's not bad. I said, I get that. But I was shown better than I was ever told. That, hey, unless you have a certain amount of money, you donate a certain amount, they don't care about you. And that's just my honest opinion. Again, I will be respectful of all those who attend church. I have plenty of family members who have churches, own churches, have congregations themselves, and I will be helpful and supportive, but I'm not joining anything. And I will totally be respectful of them while they're in their cars. If they want to listen to religious and gospel music, that's great. I'm glad that they have deep religious convictions, but it's not me. I'm just going to be the non-religious cousin that is supportive and can be a listening ear and can listen to people with different perspectives, opinions, and life experiences, but religion's not for me. And I'm definitely one of those type of people that even though I don't agree with you, I will still listen and have a conversation. Let's find where we have common ground and start there. So that's my honest thoughts on being recognized as a reverend of several churches. I just think it's a little weird, especially with the way I feel about church. I don't trust it. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. I usually don't make videos on religion and politics and stuff because that's a little iffy. We are a nation that's heavily divided, and I think we need to all come together. Even if we don't agree on everything, we're not going to ever agree on every single thing. Even if we don't agree on nothing, we should find a common ground subject. Hey, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite kind of car? Where do you like to vacation? What are your goals and dreams? What did you like to do as a child? It's a thing that you're doing as an adult. Did you dream about it as a child? That kind of thing. Because I feel like in order for us to get to a better place, religion, politics, wherever you stand, like, we're going to have to find a way to talk about things, talk through things instead of getting angry at each other. So I'm kind of going off subject. Just another thought. There were a lot of periods where people in my parish wouldn't take responsibility for what they've done. And part of being leaders and being the head of things, take accountability, own up to your mistakes, and make it right. That whole scandal opened up a whole can of worms for me personally, because I used to watch people in my own parish treat people mean, get away with it, point the fingers at others, and you're claiming that you're the premier religion, but you treat people mean, you think you're better than other people, and it was just a religion I no longer want to be associated with, because I'm not better than nobody. I take a shit like everybody else. And so when I started seeing people act that way, especially as a little girl, I was like, yeah, you know what? These are a bunch of adults behaving badly. And for people who are proclaiming to be religion people, better than everybody, and religious and Christians and woke this, woke that, they're some of the worst people I've met and known in my life. For instance, when my YouTube wasn't working out, I didn't blame other people. I acknowledge, hey, my YouTube numbers aren't where I want them to be and I need to do things to make it better. I didn't point the finger at everybody else. I looked at what I'm doing and I made the changes. Same thing in the business. If a business messes up, I need to do things differently. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody else. So the simple fact that they could not take responsibility for their actions throughout the years when I was in there, I said, that's all right. I just need to distance myself and leave religion alone altogether. So just another thought that I've been thinking about, because it was unacceptable. You're not number one. You're not better than anybody else. And there's a lot of people in my parish and other parishes around. Oh, we're better than everybody else. Oh my God, look at us. I did that just to prove a point. But you're not better than nobody else. I feel like we're all going through this journey of life together, and we need to team up with other people and learn from other people. We're not better than anybody else. And they were almost trying to say, especially when I was a little girl, we're the best religion to be a part of, and you're better than everybody else. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, you're not teaching me the right way. So for me, I just feel like keeping my distance is best from all organized religions, because that wasn't cool, and I'm just gonna keep my distance. So yeah. The one thing about being a leader is taking responsibility, acknowledging your mistakes, owning up to your mistakes, and making it right. And since a lot of people in my religion didn't do that, it made me lose a lot of respect for my religion, and just I had to leave the Catholics alone, because I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be around people who think they're better than other people. I don't want to be around people who want to front appearances and stick their nose up at people, or look down on people because I got more money than you. This person don't have as much money as me, so I get to treat them this way. None of that behavior was cool. So I'm not a fan of religion, because I've had too many experiences that was like, crazy, this is wild, and this is supposed to be people of God. Strange. Let me get off here, because I am working on a bunch of topics for everybody and can't wait to dive into those. Thanks for watching. Lead us.